step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important. But your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important. But your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important. But your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family Bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important. But your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family Bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important, but your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family Bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important, but your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family Bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important, but your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family Bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important. But your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family Bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important. But your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family Bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important. But your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family Bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it the ultimate safety test? This is the big one, the 100-foot drop. So is this the ultimate safety test? Well, it depends whether you...
We hear you've got a new job, that you've chosen a new journey, that congratulations are due. You want to give them the best start, to care for them, keep them safe, provide for them. To be the parent you want to be takes all your effort. Your role at Volvo is important. But your new role is more so. That's why we're opting all new parents into 24 weeks paid leave to enjoy the start of this journey together. So step back from our family and focus on yours. Because at Volvo we care about protecting every life. Because life is precious. So is living. Family Bond by Volvo Cars. Time to take it.
Hey, I'm Björn, and I'm here at Volvo to find out what is the ultimate safety test. These are the side and frontal crash tests. They're brutal. Yep, seems fine. This one is my favorite. The run-off road test. Impressive, right? But is it...
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nasim Rindawa, editor of Prestige. will be your moderator for our exciting virtual event today. First and foremost, thank you for joining us for what will surely be a bountiful sharing and learning session with our distinguished panel of speakers on the topic of women empowerment and sustainability, made possible through our partnership with Volvo. Both topics are undeniably relevant and significant, especially today, as we constantly strive to do better within ourselves and for our community. This afternoon, we are pleased to bring you two very knowledgeable women leaders to discuss more on women empowerment and sustainability. Our first speaker is Sasibai Kamis, the founder and chief innovation officer of Earth Heir, a social enterprise that works with over 100 artisans to create luxury Malaysian bags and accessories. Earth Heir, via Sasibai, has become one of the champions in promoting and marketing ethnic crafts, as well as an important platform in empowering women artisans from rural Malaysia through its fair trade practices. Our second speaker is Raja Jesrina Arshad, the CEO and founder of PurelyB, a one-stop platform for everything one needs to start living and sustaining a healthy lifestyle. It has become her mission to empower and educate everyone to transform their lives for the better, including improving the livelihoods of women and marginalized communities by providing job opportunities. Also, it is with great pleasure I would like to introduce and extend a very warm welcome to Ms. Jenny Goh, who is the Director of China Product and Revenue, Strategy and Business Ownership of Volvo Asia Pacific, who is joining us all the way from China. She is also the owner of Sustainability Focus Area for Asia Pacific, so we are very glad to have such a prominent guest who not only well represents women empowerment through her significant role, but also one who is a great example of bringing sustainability to the forefront in the corporate world. So without further ado, let's hear more from the speakers themselves as they explain what first led them on this meaningful journey of theirs. Let's start with Sasibai. Sasibai?
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Naseem. Thanks, Prestige. Thanks, Volvo, for having us. I think I'll do a summarized version of why I started Earth Heir. So my background's actually in finance. I was in investment banking and private equity, and I was working at Khazanah. Actually, was my last corporate position in finance. And I sort of, went through different periods of my life where I started thinking about, is there more to life than this? Is it about me being in the rat race and then, like building up money and property and on, whatever it was. And it was also sort of a personal revelation of like when I was working in Ghana, I was working with an NGO there, and and I contrasted that with the time when I was in New York, and I thought in Ghana we're doing a lot of good, but we never seem to have enough money. But while I was in New York, we had a lot of money, but we're not so concerned about what's happening around the world. So I started thinking about how the whole social enterprise model should be like. Why can't we keep making money and keep doing good, right? So the good is financed by the money that we make. So I had a bit of a life situation when I was at Khazanah. Actually, I fell asleep while I was driving home one night because I was so exhausted from working long hours, and and that kind of started like this avalanche of thoughts. And for me, I was just thinking, like, if I had died that day, would I have been proud of the life that I've lived? So that was really when I started taking steps. So I quit my job. I took time off, and I was like teaching English, building schools, and I was in Cambodia, and I met with a lot of weavers that were struggling. And I didn't intend to start a business. It's just that I saw a need, I saw people struggling, and I thought, what can I do in my capacity to help? So that's what I did. I just started buying products from them, and that's kind of how Earth Heir grew. And now it's a social enterprise, and we've been around for almost 8 years.
Wow, that's really inspiring, Sasibai. Thank you for sharing. So could you please share what made it your mission to start PurelyB, Jesrina?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's really interesting to hear Sasibai's story. I think we share a lot of commonalities, but both very different journeys. I also came from corporate, and I was in digital innovation, digital media, digital strategy, digital content. Used to head digital marketing in Astro. And so I knew that that was where my strength was in the digital field. But what led me to eventually start PurelyB was not anything I had planned either. And it was not even, it came almost like lightning epiphany moments for me. And that was because of my own personal health struggles. So I had long-term health issues that had been going on for about 7 years before I started PurelyB. And they weren't chronic illnesses or diseases, but they weren't allowing me to lead a healthy lifestyle either. So this would be like migraines every 2 days, um, having eczema and rashes, really bad digestive issues and things like that. And it was a constant, like a daily basis, and it was affecting my way of life. And it took a while for me to realize that it was how toxic my lifestyle and my diet had been that led to my body developing these intolerances and allergies that I was not born with. And my body was crying out for help. Literally, I needed to start healing, but I didn't know how. And I discovered that I grew allergies and intolerances to gluten, dairy, egg, wheat, and shellfish, which how does that happen? What kind of lifestyle would that lead you to? And it was learn how to let your body heal naturally and cut out those allergens, learning from how people who did have chronic diseases in the West did it, because there was no platform in Asia that was guiding me on that path. I had to learn from people in the US and the UK, adapt it to my lifestyle and my culture living in Malaysia and Southeast Asia. And then because some of the things that they're talking about, you can't get it here. So I had to educate myself. And through those changes that I made, it was life changing. Things that doctors couldn't help me with. Um, Going through this whole natural, holistic lifestyle and diet change, I was able to overcome these symptoms within 1 week. No, my eczema had cleared up. My migraines went away that week. My digestion was regular. So many things that was affecting me on a daily basis within 1 week had cleared. And I felt like a new person. And it was something I could not ignore, that all I needed to do was change my lifestyle and be more educated about the choices that I'm making in the food that I put into my body, the products that I use. And why isn't there a single brand in Asia that is helping to advocate and guide people on this? It can be as simple, you don't need drugs, you don't need medicine that can have longer harmful effects on your body. So that's how it started. And it became like a mission. If I could just help one person the way I help myself, like I would be happy, I would have purpose in that sense, because it's the reason why I went through this in the first place. And then I teamed up with natural health doctors, nutritionists, fitness coaches who are health experts in this field. I know how to build the digital platform for this, but I'm not a health expert. They wanted to build this for a very long time. They don't know how to do digital. So we combined our strengths to create PurelyB, and it has just been an evolution since then of how the business has grown in the last 6 years. But that's how it started, a personal mission.
Wow, that's really great. I mean, it's so interesting to learn that both of your corporate journeys somehow led you to start Earth Heir and PurelyB, right? So yeah, that's really interesting to
Absolutely.
know. And so now I think my next question is for Jenny. Jenny, was the position owner of sustainability focus area in Volvo Asia Pacific one that you've always been keen on? How has it enriched you?
Hello, everyone. It's honored to be invited to join this event. I'm now in Shanghai, in China. I have been working in this industry for more than 10 years. I started the career with the consulting in PricewaterhouseCoopers and the JD Power. Then I joined the Volvo in the strategy team. Now I'm working in the product and the revenue team, in the strategy and the business ownership team. So as you all know, that safety is the gene of Volvo. One of our founders, Gustav Larsen, has said that cars are made for people. So the principle behind everything we made is or have must and be kept as the safety. So now we have broadened this concept of safety. We would like to offer people the freedom to move in a personal, sustainable, and a safe way. So personal means is about protecting livings, and sustainable is about protecting life, and safety is about protecting lives. So it's the new vision of us. And talking about this role of the owner for the sustainability focus area, actually I volunteered for this role. The focus area in our company is the way to promote cross-functional collaboration in the product creation area. So I'm not the owner for every work about sustainability, but I feel it's a perfect role for me as because our function is the linkage between the commercial side and the industrial side. As this role, I can be aware of all the advanced technology. Our engineers are working every day on the sustainability, but at the same time, I would also to know or get the opinion or get the idea how to translate these good technology to the language that customers can understand. So that's why I volunteered this role for this sustainability focus area. So in the past 1 year, I feel very excited about this role, as I have seen a great effort our engineering has put in the sustainability area. As you know, Volvo has the ambition to be climate neutral by 2040. So we have a lot of 3 pillars to support that. I will go to the detail in the later stage. But in this role, every day I wake up, so I feel empowered to work on these great things that will save people's lives, protect the people's livings. So that's why I feel very honored for this role and be invited here.
Yeah, and it's a very important role indeed, Jenny. And I'm glad that you explained it very clearly. And I hope Volvo reaches its mission in 2040. So now for my next question. As women leaders, what would you say are the necessary qualities needed to assume a leadership role that is not only empowering, but also keeps you going when things are tough? Can we start with Sasi? What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I think this question doesn't necessarily have to have a gender lens on it, but I think for me, I definitely feel, I feel like the way I think about leadership is compassionate and empathetic leadership, and I think for sure, like at Earth Heir, like the kind of culture that I wanted to have is where everyone in the team, because one of the things that I was told, when I was working in banking is very much like, leave your personal life at the door, right? It's like your personal life does not belong here. And, and I'm like, I don't know, but that's not how I feel, because I'm human and so are my team members, and we're all human and we all have issues and challenges, in our personal lives. And so I think that every person, team member needs to be considered as a whole. And it's not about leaving your personal life outside the door. It's bring it in, and we will try to work through it and figure it out together. For me, that is what compassionate leadership is about. And I think that's what and I think as women, I think women do carry a lot of load in society. And I think that I hope more leaders and more corporates especially would even, realize that having children, and that children are huge, contributors to the economy, and that the costs or burdens of raising a family should be shared, not just by the individual family, but also by society as a whole, and and the companies that we work in. So it has to be supportive of the family unit. And I think Sweden has, I lived in Sweden in 1998, and Sweden has done a great job. Even back then, I remember my friends were getting paternity leave for like 8 or 9 months, or it's like men were given long periods of leave to spend time with their family and their kids, and that's so progressive. So I hope that more leadership will lean towards compassionate leadership.
Yeah, that's great. I totally agree with the points that you've brought up. What are your thoughts, Jesrina? As
So
a
I
woman
definitely
leader.
agree. Yes, I mean, I definitely agree with Sasi about the empathy. I think naturally as women leaders, that is seen as a weakness by some other leaders, but I actually see that it's what makes us so much stronger as a leader and actually have the loyalty and foster those bonds with people in our team, which people are everything to do with a company's success. And that's part of the execution, which we all know is 99% of a company's success is the execution, and the people is behind that. And to build the kind of culture that can foster those kind of bonds and that culture that makes that a happy and growing environment, empathy is at the core of it, I feel. But two other key traits that, taken from my own experience and looking at the women leaders and leaders in general who really inspire me. Purpose is very, very key, because if you don't have a strong why of the reason behind creating a business or wanting to lead that business or that company, will you have what it takes, the hunger, the drive, the tenacity to succeed against all odds? Because it's never going to be an easy journey. There's always going to be obstacles in your way. But what helps you rise above them and overcome them is because your purpose is so strong. It's almost like a fire in your belly that just drives you constantly, and that you know that at the end of these challenges is going to be an even greater achievement that will be so fulfilling and rewarding. So purpose is really strong together with perseverance. So it comes hand in hand, because I feel that when you have strong purpose, the perseverance is just strengthened and strengthened over time. So yeah, those would be the other two key factors that I think that in any leader would really, really need.
Great. Okay. So what about you, Jenny? As a woman leader, your role seems to be very important with a lot of responsibility. How do you approach it? How do you approach this leadership role of yours?
I think a woman leader, should say women usually are more caring and more careful. That would be the advantage for the leader as well. But I think regardless it's woman or man, I would think two things would be very important. First thing is be humble. The second thing is that you need to be open-minded. So there is a saying that keep hungry, keep humble. So I think the smartest person will never say he is the smartest one, because he knows the world. Must be some difficulty things that he can't overcome. He knows the weakness of himself. So you should be always humble all the time to keep yourself alert, be aware of yourself, and push yourself, move forward all the time, to learn new things, to open up for the new opportunities. And the second thing is the open mind is very, very important, especially for a woman leader. Even after you broaden your view, then you will come up with the new ideas and encourage others to share their ideas as well. So every time I face difficulty things, I will calm down a little bit and ask myself, what will be the worst case for this one? After I think through, I'm aware of the worst case, then I will ask myself, what will be the consequence or the business impact if I have the worst scenario. So after thinking through all this clearly, I will not be afraid of taking any actions or plan to overcome the difficulty, because I have already been aware of the worst scenario. So I think these two are quite important and keep me always motivated to when I face difficult things or I want to solve the problems.
Okay, thank you, Jenny, for that very well thought out answer. So, okay, I'm just going to go to this question, which basically asks, I think it's important for women to help lift other women up for success, and there is boundless potential to explore. And the both of you, including Jenny, are perfect examples of that. So what is your advice to our audience who are listening to us today when it comes to supporting women? What can they consciously do or continue to do to support, women in leadership roles or even women in the workplace? Let's start with Sasi.
Sorry. I think for me, it's, our team, for example, at the moment, we are like almost 100% women. But I think one of the things that I have is mentoring, is other women in leadership who have mentored me. I suppose it's also men. I've also had a lot of male mentors, but having a genderless lens, I think, is key as well. Like, I know we're talking about women empowerment, but I think that when we're talking about leadership, we cannot exclude. I always feel that whenever we talk about anything about women empowerment, we can never exclude men, because we don't live in a vacuum, and we cannot have women reaching up and growing with just other women. We need men as well to support us, and to support and to believe in the fact that women should also have a place in leadership and in the world, and to succeed and to have the same kind of rights that a man has. So for me, I would say one of the biggest things is definitely mentoring, and developing that in the workplace and wherever you are. So for me, like, that's been a key part of how we work at Earth Heir, is definitely mentoring each other. It's not like, oh, I'm the founder, so I mentor everybody else. I get mentored by other, my colleagues as well on different issues and different topics. So I think it's that sort of collaborative learning mindset as well. Fostering that is key. And I really like what Jenny said earlier. I think humility is, a key thing that I think is important, whether you're a man or a woman. And I think if more people were humble, had compassion and empathy, and were willing to be more collaborative, that would help more women move up. Yeah, so it's realizing that really it isn't about a zero-sum game. It's not that, like, if I help another woman or another man, then I will get less. It's thinking that when I help and they grow and the pie grows, so all of us get more rather than one person getting less.
Okay. Jesrina, what do you think about this? What is your advice to audience when it comes to supporting women? What can they consciously do? Like, what do you would advise them to do more?
Yeah, I think it's really important to, first of all, to kind of reflect on yourself and see what can you give back, what can you pay forward, because wherever you are in your life today, career-wise, personal, you got there because people helped you along the way, men or women, and how can you pay it forward and help others? Same as Sasi is saying, men or women, not just necessarily women, but women have clearly been disadvantaged in the pandemic. They have been impacted more than men, and more job losses, single mothers trying to make ends meet with trying to lock down and trying to take care of the family and put food on the table. And it created a lot in me, particularly to try to also see at PurelyB, what more can we do? And I think what's really important is for us to sort of get over the mindset that we don't have the power to do much. Because in my mind, I also felt, oh, only if I had this amount of capital and so on, that I would do this and that. But actually, you don't need all that. Just look into yourself and see what can you do. And reflecting on myself, I knew that my skill sets was digital sales and marketing. that had always been my background. And that's what's really needed by the women entrepreneurs today, like all these, especially when they're not used to selling online and now they're forced to because of the pandemic, and they don't have those skills and they don't have money to go on those courses, or they don't know how to get started and so on. So for me, I was like, okay, I'm going to put together a digital sales and marketing training program to upskill these women. So if they want to sell their kueh or anything that they're making, then they have that opportunity to sell online and make money and not feel at home, even during lockdown, and show them how they can do it. But how can you access these women is the other question. And there's so many organizations that tap into this community of women that you can reach out to and say, I want to offer this. And Ibupreneur was one of them that I work really closely with, and they help a lot of single mothers. And for them, it was empowering these women with skill sets so that they can basically commercialize their products more and be better entrepreneurs. So I reached out to them, ended up doing a lot of digital training, even when we're on lockdown, for these women, so that they know better how to sell. And they were learning so much. To us, it may be basic, but to them, it is a wealth of new knowledge that they've never known before. So for me, I feel like wherever your strength is, that you think you can give back, reach out to these communities. Even Magic has a whole pool of all these, I would say, organizations, social enterprises that are helping a lot of these marginalized women communities. You can reach out to them and say what you want to offer. So to me, that's one very key thing. And of course, buy from these companies like Earth Heir and buy from the Asli Co. And there's so many where they're, Orang Asli women and marginalized women communities, all these small women entrepreneurs, all these local women-owned brands. Buy from them for a change, and you'll get better quality products in return too. So yeah, I think those would be the things that I think anybody can do. You don't need to be a business, you don't need to be a leader. Anybody can do it, and you will make a difference.
Okay, great. I think all of us have covered the topic of women empowerment pretty well, and I hope our audience benefit from our conversation thus far. But now let's move on to the topic of sustainability. Because it seems that right now there's an awakening where more and more people are opening their eyes towards the roles they should play in preserving Mother Earth. Sasibai, could you please share what's your personal as well as Earth Heir's role when it comes to practicing sustainability?
So for me and for Earth Heir, I think sustainability is core to who we are. I mean, even our name is based on this idea that we are all like heirs of this earth. And I mean, in Malay, it actually comes from the concept of waris bumi, which means you're like a inheritor of this earth. So it's thinking about what that responsibility means. If you are the heir of something, how would you treat your treasure, or what you've been given, right? Your inheritance. So it's like taking care of this inheritance that we've been given, which is this earth, people, planet, animals. So living in a way that respects and protects that. And I think, after having founded a social enterprise and after having worked in corporate world, I realized that I think there's still a long way to go for sustainability in the corporate world, because, before a lot of companies, it was about CSR, right? So it was about like, okay, we still have business as usual, but then let's have a budget for like our CSR budget, and that's not sustainability. Sustainability to me is really about, a company that is going to review its operations top to bottom and look at the social and environmental impacts of its actions, its procurement, its relationship with its vendors, with its clients. It's like looking at your raw materials, it's looking at your whole supply chain. And I think that is sustainability. Then you're actually reviewing and looking at your impact as a whole company, and looking at a business model itself. How do we make money? and what's happening to our products at the end of its useful life. So thinking about the circularity of the services and products that we sell as well. So for me at Earth Heir, that's been key, and we've been experimenting on. So all our products are handmade by refugees, indigenous people, marginalized women, differently abled women in prisons in Malaysia, right? So and most of our products are made out of natural fibers. But a couple of years ago, we started working with plastic strips. So we actually have these like cargo plastic strip bags that are woven. And and it's always been like heavy in my head and my heart, like, oh no, what's going to happen because it's plastic, right? So now we're actually about to launch a program where we are going to, we're going to offer free shipping for all our clients. When their bags reach, the end of its useful life, they can ship it back to us and we are recycling it. So we're actually working with an NGO that will melt down the plastic and create new products with it. So we're still experimenting with the right formula to do that and stuff. But, I'm excited about that so that, the plastic doesn't go into the trash and then it doesn't get recycled, so now it is going to get recycled. So, that's kind of how we think about our work, it's like thinking about people, the materials, and then what happens to the product at the end of its useful life.
Yeah, upcycling is definitely something that everyone's looking at right now. So what about you, Jesrina? I'm sure sustainability is also a topic that is very close to your heart. How do you practice this, and do share how PurelyB is part of it?
Yeah, definitely. When we talk about holistic, healthy living, and even the changes that I made in my own lifestyle, it wasn't just in one pillar; it was across all the pillars: nutrition, fitness, mindfulness, wellness, environmental well-being. And for us, that's how you can truly lead a healthy lifestyle. It has to be holistic. And so, one area, of course, for us is about spreading education. That has always been at the core of everything that we do. And why we created PurelyB in the first place is just lack of education and awareness and a very objective standpoint from credible experts to speak on the subject matter. So we talk a lot about, we talk about a lot of topics from clean eating, reducing meat consumption, zero waste, sustainable lifestyles. So for us, we cover a lot of those topics in very, I would say, relevant ways. It's very easy for people to adapt into their daily lives. A lot of people feel that it is not as easy to make those changes. So for us, it's very important if every piece of content that we put out there when educating them about making these changes, that it is so simple, anybody can do it, and it actually might save you money and save you a lot of problems in the long run, particularly health problems. So that's one very, very key aspect that we're constantly very passionate about, working with partners to push that kind of education. But the second part is also the products that we create. So right now we create our own line of traditional Asian health food products, which are all based on medicinal plants and herbs from Asia, Malaysia, Thailand, and India. And for us, it's really important that we are advocating and preserving our local herbs and plants as medicine, as ways to heal, as opposed to the synthetic drugs and chemicals that are non-renewable sources that are depleting future resources. So for us, it's really, really important to start educating and providing more solutions that are natural and plant-based. But it's important to also look at brands and see how are they sourcing their raw materials and how are they ensuring that it is sustainable end to end. So for us, that has been a challenge, but at the same time, a big core to what is important in our mission. Like we work with traditional herbalists and healers from the kampung, from the village, who they harvest this in their local farms and whatnot, and they work with a lot of the women in the kampung, in the village, who are very impoverished. And so for me, this is a big mission why we wanted to do this. It wasn't just about bringing healthy solutions to the community, nor was it only about preserving our herbal culture. It was also about, this is an area in which we can help train and employ and create job opportunities for marginalized communities, especially women. And so in doing this, for us, sourcing the raw materials, we grow some of them on our own farm in Thailand with the marginalized women communities. But at the same time, in order to scale, we had to work with other partners too. And to find those partners took great effort. There were so many we couldn't work with because we want to make sure it's sustainably and ethically sourced. How are they growing it? And like from the temperature, the soil, and everything, is it protecting the ecosystem? Is it over harvesting? There was so many of these components we had to look at, which made it more difficult for us, and it made it more expensive for us to create the solution. But we know it provides the highest potency, highest quality, and environmentally conscious product that we are proud of. So that is in essence of some of the areas of sustainability that we look at.
Wow, and that's a lot. Thank you, Jesrina. Okay. Jenny, Volvo has come a long way in championing sustainability as well. Can you tell us more on the brand's journey towards electrification and the goal of being a climate neutral company by 2040?
Yes, I think now sustainability strategy is as important as our safety strategy. So we have 3 areas to supporting the sustainability strategy. The first is the climate neutral by 2040. Second is we would like to be the circular business by 2040. And the third one is that we want to be an ethical and responsible business by 2040. So I will elaborate a little bit for these 3 areas. The first one is climate neutral by 2040. We have ambition to reduce the CO2 per car by 40% by 2025. So we have done the analysis that the CO2 per car has come from 3 main areas. One is the tailpipe emission, second is the supply chain, and the third one is the commercial operation. So for the major part as pipeline, the tailpipe emission, we would like to reduce by 50%. So by doing this, we would like to promote a lot for the electrification cars. We will sell 50% of the BEV, the pure battery vehicles by 2025, and we will be 100% battery electrification vehicle by 2030. So by doing this way, we will reduce the tailpipe emission a lot. And then secondly, we are promoting the green energy in all of our manufacturing plants. At least I know that from last year, we have in China, we have the Chengdu plant has already 100% used the green energy. It's a clean energy. And this year we are encouraging our suppliers in Chengdu and close to Chengdu will also use the clean energy. So we are quite transparent in sharing these informations to the publicity. And I know that our Malaysian companies or sales company also have a lot of initiatives to do that. And the second area is about the circular business, circular economy. You know that circular economy requires a loop of all the materials. So that requires, we need to consider this point from the beginning of the car when we design the vehicle. So we are now using more and more bio-based material, and we will use a lot of recycled materials in our vehicles. For example, the recycled plastic, the recycled aluminum. So these things can create a very good kind of environment for the recycled business to maximize the use of the material. And at the same time, we will also explore the battery full life cycle usage. So you know that in the battery vehicles, after the battery cannot support the vehicle use, but still the battery can support the other purpose. For example, the energy storage for the signal, the mobile phone signal. Sorry, and before it becomes a material for the battery production again, it can still be used for second life or third life of the battery. And the third one is the ethical and the responsible business. I think we are using the blockchain technology in the cobalt sourcing, so that to make sure all the cobalt used by us is from ethical way. And as you all see the video, we are also kind of have the global-wise, have the parent leave for all the employees to encourage your employees spend more time with the family. So this is all supporting us to become a responsible business and to be employee-like favored companies. So I think these 3 areas, we put a lot of effort in this in the past years, and continue to do that in the coming years.
Okay, thank you, Jenny, for sharing that. I think if we didn't share that today, we wouldn't have known all the efforts Volvo have been undertaking to, make sure that it's empowering women and both working towards a more sustainable business. So my next question is for the two of our speakers, Jesrina and Sasi. What are the biggest challenges that your organizations face when it comes to sustainability? Of course, Earth Heir and PurelyB practice it, but what do you think the bigger part of the community in Malaysia has to wake up to realize? Sasi, would you like to start?
Sure. I mean, I think one of the key challenges that we faced, and I suppose continue to face, is is the additional cost, right? And I think both Jesrina and Jenny alluded to this. It's like when you are doing things right, ethically, socially, environmentally, there is an added cost for doing all that. So I think one of the challenges for us was, that we are, because we're fair trade certified, we have to ensure that all of our artisans are paid fairly and there's no harm to the environment, there's no harm to humans. So I think, like trying to weigh like sustainability and cost, right? And I think that's probably like all companies probably struggle with that issue. So one of the key things that we had to do was, was actually education and awareness about, why does this bag cost this much, right? Like these are where all the cost elements are. And this is how we do what we do. So it's actually really about educating consumers and about storytelling, how we do what we do, because I remember in the early years of Earth Heir, like I was actually, a client asked me this. It was like, this Mengkuang bag, why is it like 150 ringgit? Why is it like 30 ringgit? Then I was like, because the Mengkuang takes 2 years to be grown, and it takes 2 weeks for the Mengkuang to be processed, and for the artisan to weave the bag, can take up to 5 days. So you're essentially paying for the skills, the crafts, the heritage that goes into this, right? And to allow for the person to earn a fair and living wage. How is a person supposed to work, make a bag for 5 days and then earn like 30 ringgit and survive, right? So it's not a fair exchange. So I think that's kind of where, like when you have to weigh these things, like, so the additional cost is something, or how we price is something that we had challenges with in the beginning, and I think now, like, I don't apologize for the price of our products anymore, because in the beginning I was like, oh no, are we too expensive? And I'm like, no, this is, we're a social enterprise. We're not even like making a killing on our products. We have a fair margin, that is audited. And, it's for the artisans to earn well. It's to ensure that the environment is not damaged. And it's to ensure that everybody who works in the company is paid a fair and living wage. So it's about, having fairness at every step of the way. And all at the same time, creating profitability and sustainability in the business. So I think as a social enterprise, that's probably the biggest challenge that we have.
Okay. What about you, Jesrina?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say it's the exact same thing for us too. Primarily because our signature product is Pagaga, and I think the mindset is Pagaga is so cheap. I can just buy it at the market. Like, why is your product so expensive? And we do get people like asking, I'm not going to pay more than this for it. And so, but they want it, but they're trying to haggle and bargain to make it cheaper because they don't understand. And we have to explain to them, like what Sasi said, it's a lot of education, a lot of awareness, and breaking down where the cost is. First of all, the pagaga you're buying from the market, yes, it's pagaga. How is it grown? Are you having it with the stem? How much of the pagaga you have? Are you going to have the medicinal properties of that pagaga? You're just having a nutritious salad. You're not going to have these kind of healing properties from it. It has to be grown a certain way. You need 6 kilograms of that in one canister of the fresh pagaga. And it's got to be retained a certain way, preserved a certain way. And it's in combination with other herbs, papaya leaf, turmeric leaf. They're also grown organically and harvested a certain way, together with these other fruits and ingredients that are 100% natural that bring out each other's efficacy on an even stronger level. And then the packaging to ensure that it's sustainable packaging and everything. So the end-to-end processes. And I do find that when you do educate, they come around and they're like, okay, yes, I want to order one or not. But it is exhausting to have to constantly educate because for them, it should be so much cheaper. They don't understand the value until you spell it out for them. So one thing I realize is that they do appreciate the great efforts that social enterprises take in sustainability, in creating good quality, and ensuring that a piece of the profits goes back to help marginalized communities. But they need to be constantly reminded and educated on it. So I think that's something that the communities probably need to take more initiatives of educating themselves and not wait for other organizations to sort of spread the education to them. Like take it on your own self that this is a mission of mine to want to buy more products that have greater values, rather than just looking at the price point. Because the question shouldn't be why is it so expensive? The question should be why is it so cheap? And so I think that is a constant battle for companies like ours, but I have to say it's getting much better. I think the pandemic opened up a lot of people's eyes. So we've seen a big shift in the past year. So it's looking very promising, but it is a constant battle, but an uphill one. I mean, a downhill one.
Yeah, education is key, basically, right? So
Yes.
thank you. I think with that, it brings our session to a close. So firstly, thank you to our audience for tuning in and asking some brilliant questions this afternoon, some of which I've asked, the both of you. And with this, I bring our session to a close. We've shared some great conversations on women empowerment and sustainability. And here at Prestige, and behalf of Volvo, we hope you all continue to stay empowered and embrace sustainability in your everyday life. Thank you all. Thank you, Sasi. Thank you, Jesrina. And thank you, Jenny, for joining us today. This is
Thank
very
you.
Thank
good
you.
session and glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.